Hey Aquarius, intuitive soul coach here with your June 2023 love and family reading. Welcome back to my channel if you are returning, and welcome if you are new. These are general readings, so please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. If you are interested in a personal reading or entering into the free monthly reading giveaway, you can find both of those links in the description box below. All right, so Aquarius, you have a bonus card, which I love to see. Some of you are taking a little bit of a time out in the month of June, a much needed time out, whether to spend time with family, to hit up the great outdoors, go camping, go hiking, biking, traveling. This is the month for you to do so. There could even be an unexpected family trip or event that takes place for you in the month of June. So let's take a dive into your energy. Now, in the recent past, you have the birdhouse showing up here. This has to do with your safety and security. So some of you, there could have been some turbulence, some struggles when it comes to the family or the home life. I sense that there's an upgrade that needs to take place here that you've been working on, because you can see that this birdhouse is in pretty rough shape. So it could have stemmed from the root chakra as well, childhood wounding you've been working through. It could be that you needed to work through some limiting beliefs. I'm getting here as well, the Five of Swords. So a lot of back and forth energy, Aquarius. I feel emotions may have been quite heavy for you as well. Emotions of your own, of other people's, that had to do with feeling threatened, feeling triggered when it came to your safety and security. The great news is here with this birdhouse, you also have the dandelion. This is all about planting seeds, and this is your present energy of June 2023. So some of you may have actually recently seen some of these dandelions. You may have picked them up. You may have had your children pick them up and blow into them, make a wish. I always call these the wishing flowers. So this is a really great time to plant seeds and to focus on what you want to see manifesting in your world. Because in the near future, there's going to be a lot of action. I sense the Empress, the Empress may show up for you, but I'm also sensing the Chariot energy. And I mean, that Empress can be about fertility, bringing life to fruition here, bringing some dreams to reality. So I like that this is showing up for you. Now, I'm also getting dandelion tea as well. Some of you may actually physically be making something with dandelion. Please take that as it resonates. Now, in the near future, Aquarius, you have the coffee card. This is good motivation. I sense that you may be getting together with a loved one that you haven't spoken to or seen for quite some time. There could also be a new beginning because you are planting seeds. If you're looking for love and if you're single, this is good motivation to put yourself out there, to build some bridges or mend some bridges within your own safety and security, to set yourself up for a new belief system so you can attract the type of companionship, relationships, and interactions that you truly seek and desire. But I do sense that you had to work on some self-development and some personal healing here in the past. Now, there could be a coffee date that shows up. Some of you may be meeting with family at a reunion, graduation, or function of that nature. But this is you being able to speak what's on your mind. I'm getting here pleasant conversations. There could even be a very important heart-to-heart conversation that you have. I'm getting mother energy as well. Whether your mother is here in the physical world or she's crossed over, there could be messages showing up. Now, I know we did recently celebrate Mother's Day. If you celebrate that holiday, that may have been a time where you got together with family. You could have been reminiscing over old memories if your mother is no longer here in the physical. And I also feel that you're having some breakthrough moments. You're having some moments of spending time with those that you love. That's why you have the bonus card here, Aquarius, of camping. Some of you may surprise yourself by reaching out to new friends, to new maybe family members. I'm getting here socializing. And it may surprise you. You meet new people this month. I like this, Aquarius. You being that air sign of yours, I feel like it's important for you to take those dreams down to reality, because sometimes we can let daydream, sit in the ether and just spin and spin and spin. We have a hard time bringing them down to reality and actually manifesting what we want. But I see you doing that here in the month of June. So let's dive into your main energy, Aquarius. What is the heart of the matter? What is the main themes, main energy for June 2023? What do we have here? All right. Some of you I'm getting as well. This is interesting. Okay, this is not going to resonate with every single one of you, but some of you may have been kicked out of a home. Your home may have been sold out from underneath you. Some of you, I mean, you may feel homeless as well, or there was just a renovation project that you had to leave your home for a few days. I'm getting that. So you could be living from a van. You may be staying in an RV, a camper as well, because I feel like home isn't necessarily the place that you grew up. Home is where the heart is what I'm hearing here. Home is where the heart is. And there could even be an escape from a situation that may have been challenging or difficult. Please take that as it resonates. Very random, just came in sporadically. Let's see what the main energy is. You have the Two of Pentacles. This card has been showing up for many, many signs. This is about us remaining in a state of awareness, in a state of balance, in a state of more peace, regardless of what's going on in our outer world, right? Even though that inner world can reflect the outer world, the things that are beyond your control, right? Whatever is happening in your sister's life, whatever is happening in your child's life, if they're adults, you know, whatever is going on over here, I feel like you're trying to create balance and you're trying to set healthy boundaries here. And I also feel with this Two of Pentacles, some of you may have been taking on too much, but you may also be receiving help this month, whether it's help from a spouse, help from a lover, help from kids around the house. You may say, hey guys, please pick up your laundry, clean your room. Or if you have, I'm getting roommate. Some of you may live with someone you take care of, or maybe you do live with a partnership or a roommate. There's going to be some important conversations that do show up that's going to help the dynamic, even if it feels uncomfortable. Sometimes it's those uncomfortable conversations that we need to have with ourselves and need to have with others in order for things to flow forward in a new direction. And that's what I'm picking up on here for you. There's a heart to heart. There's something that you need to get off your chest that maybe you have been keeping within, and it's been causing a lot of stress, a lot of conflict internally, but you're finding more of that balance here. All right, Aquarius, what's the challenge? What's showing up as the challenge for you in the month of June, and how can we help you navigate through that? All right, thank you, Spirit. I'm getting for some of you, because you do have this birdhouse that looks a little bit disheveled here, and you need to escape. Some of you, if you're able to, you may hire a cleaner, hire a nanny, or you may ask relatives to help you, maybe a grandfather or grandmother watch the kids while you take a little bit of time for yourself. I'm just getting that you do a lot, Aquarius, for everyone else, and you do a lot to try to keep things in balance, but it can be exhausting. So I sense that you're going to be speaking out for what it is that you need, and you'll actually receive favorable news. Someone is graciously wanting to help you. So I like this. All right, you are the Magician. Now the challenge for you is to manifest the positive things into your world that you want to see taking shape, because we are the Magician. We are the creator of our worlds. What we think about, we bring about. And sometimes that can work against us, because if we are feeling overwhelmed and overburdened, if we're carrying resentments, bitterness, anger, right? If we don't feel safe and secure, and that's the vibration that we are emitting, that's what we ultimately see showing up in our world, right? It's the universal law of attraction. So we can't just wishful think ourselves out of a situation. I wish this house would get cleaned, right? That's not how manifestation works. We need to be able to meet that vibration for what it is that we want so it can come into our world. So I do feel that there's something you're working out here. There's something you're learning. There's something you are understanding. And what it is I feel you are understanding, Aquarius, is that you have all of the necessary tools available. This Magician, you can see that he has his treasure chest here. and he has his hands up. So he's able to work with the divine to bring those dreams that we just talked about down to reality, because he's using the tools to raise his vibration. Now he has access to the wands. He has access to that creativity, that spiritual force, that willpower, and that inspiration. Then he has access to the cups, and the cups are all about relationships, desire, emotions, and feelings. And then he moves over to the swords, and he can cut away things that no longer serve him through power, through thought, through intellect and communication. He can speak his world into being. And then we have the pentacle realm. He can create material gain, finances, prosperity, health, and body when it comes to not just love and relationships, but when it comes to all areas of his world. And I do sense for some of you, because I am hearing career, money could be a struggle, and that could be interfering with a relationship. It could also be money owed as well, such as, let's say you live with a roommate and they owe you money for rent, but they're not paying you on time, or maybe they don't have the money. I'm also getting that someone, it could be a mother-in-law or a father-in-law, someone may be encroaching on your space or your energy. I feel like it's important to have that communication and set clear, healthy boundaries, but you are the magician. You are the creator. If some of you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, or doing everything on your own, or just feeling that energies are one-sided, raise that vibration the best that you can. And if you need help doing that, find help, whether it's through a seer, a healer, a therapist, a coach, a mentor, a trusted friend, relative, or helper. This is really beautiful, because the good news is when a card shows up in your challenge position, we read it in reverse. Now, the magician in reverse is misusing your power, right? It's not knowing necessarily how to use your power. Maybe you've never been taught, right? Maybe you don't know how this stuff works, but I feel like the majority of you do. But sometimes even knowing doesn't bring that to reality, right? We can know something till we're blue in the face, but it's like a belief. Sometimes we have that belief ingrained so deeply within us that we wouldn't know what to do if we believed in something else. I feel like that's what you are diving into this month, and it's going to affect your relationships on all levels. It's going to affect the relationship you have with self, but I feel like a lot of you are using your communication skills, and you are grounding your energy. You're healing that root chakra, and that root chakra can be childhood wounding, specifically between ages 0 to 7. That's when that root chakra is formed. But this can also manifest in physical symptoms that affects the lower back, the hips, the knees, the legs, the ankles, the toes, and the feet. So some of you may be dealing with some health issues, or you're just plain tired and it's causing maybe a little bit of inflammation in the feet area. Please take that as it resonates. Please see the disclaimer in the description box below. But you're realizing that you have the magician, and it's showing up in your energy. So even though it's a challenge, you have the power, literally, you have the power here to flip this into the upright position and use your skills, use that law of attraction and those manifestation skills to your highest good, to attract what it is that you want. And I see you doing that as well. But it could be that you need this much needed escape that brings to you an aha moment. Maybe you just need to get away. Take a day for yourself, an afternoon off, take a weekend getaway, or if you're fortunate enough to take the whole week, Aquarius, take the whole week. Get out in nature. Spend time coming back to you. Spend time loving your family, surrounding yourself with the people that love you and support you. Because towards mid to end of June, you have this good motivation coming in here. So I like this. This is good. Let's take a look at what's in your foundation. What are you built upon? What is in your deep, deep past? The Emperor. Beautiful. You may be a natural leader, Aquarius. And this is interesting as well, because you are taking that lead, which I like to see, because air signs, we just talked about this, Aquarius. Sometimes you may have a difficult time bringing your thoughts and daydreams and reality down to, your thoughts and daydreams down to reality. But the good news is some of you may even have strong Aries placements in your chart. You could have Aries rising or Aries moon. Or maybe some of you are dealing with an Aries. I mean, this could be father figure, and that could be part of that childhood wounding between ages 0 to 7. Your father could have crossed over. Maybe your father was absent. Perhaps you've never met your father. Whatever this is here, it has affected your foundation, but I feel like it's caused a little bit of resiliency is the word I'm getting, resiliency, but it's also allowed you to step into your power and take the lead because you know that no one else was there or could do it for you as well. Okay, maybe they were there. Maybe this doesn't have to do with your father. But it's about you knowing when you need to take action and when it's time to pause and receive, right? Because it's that cycle. You have the Empress energy of receptivity and creativity and fertility, right? And then you have the Emperor that takes action. And with that masculine and feminine energy coming round and round together, that's what creates forward movement, which I certainly see you manifesting here. Now, when this Emperor shows up in your deep, deep past, there could have been someone around you, whether this was a father, it could have been a lover, it could have been an uncle. Some of you may have been dealing with someone who is very dominant. You had to stay out of this person's way, or maybe you felt like you had to walk on eggshells. Okay, I'm getting father for a lot of you. Or maybe your father's father was this way, and that could be why some of the situations happened the way that they did. But the good news around this Hierophant is you were able to learn and question as an adult. Maybe you didn't know any better as a child. That was part of the human experience. But now as an adult, you have the responsibility to heal and not let the past define you for the worst. We can let the past define us, but to grow and to evolve into, the person that we are meant to become here on earth, the person and the soul, the experience that we choose. And I feel like you have some sort of direction. You have some sort of an inner compass, an inner map. We all do. And that's what he's holding on to. He's holding on to the map. So you hold the map to your destiny here, which is really quite powerful, Aquarius. You're planting new seeds here for a new soulmate, a new contract, or you're able to see the role that a parent played in your world that taught you to be who you are today. So I love Tony Robbins. He actually talks about his mother, and his mother actually goes to a lot of his shows and a lot of his talks and seminars. And he talks about how his mother was just, awful to him when he was younger. And I believe it was his mother anyway. And he had to, at times, he blamed his mother. But he teaches other people, if you're going to blame a parent for you becoming who you are, then you must blame them for all the good that you are as well. Because without the bad, there is no good, right? That's where duality comes in. That's where masculine and feminine. That's where emperor and empress. So you see the parallel there. So for a lot of you, there is a deep release and a deep healing when it comes to some sort of maybe childhood wounding. Now let's dive into the recent past here for you, Aquarius, and see what's showing up in the recent past. Now, some of you may have attracted relationships that mirrored an energy here of something in childhood, but now you have the responsibility to find that safety and security within yourself. Yeah, because you've detached. You've detached from your soul at times, because this Justice card can be about karmic cycles and relationships, Libran energy here. This is about judgments, illegality. Some of you may have been going through a divorce or a legal situation with a family member, some sort of inheritance. Someone may have even crossed over and there was a family dispute based on who gets what. Who gets the home? Who gets this, clock, or who gets this item, right? It's so difficult sometimes when we deal with the mundane things of, the physicalities. And it's the wanting, the attachments, the needing, when really, if you have those memories, that's the most important thing. Now we have here detachment. And so I feel for a lot of you, you may have felt detached from a situation, or because of how something showed up in your foundation, you've learned to maybe detach from situations before they could get too deep, Aquarius, right? Maybe you had a hard time grounding those into reality, or maybe you were the one that attached yourself even to people at times where they have detached based on codependent dynamics between the both of you. but I feel like you're finding peace. You're finding peace, and it's allowing you to move forward because you're planting new seeds. So let's get to the juicy goodness of your reading and take a look at what it is that you're bringing into your reality. What is it that you're manifesting? What's in your headspace? Control through the strength, right? The strength card is a very powerful energy about taming the beast within, right? Taming that shadow, taming the demons within, that devil energy of feeling like maybe we need to control every single situation. I talk about this in a collective reading. And by the way, I will link the collective readings in the description in case you missed any and you feel a pull towards them. But sometimes because of childhoods that are so traumatic, or they are very up and down, maybe you move around a lot, maybe there's trauma, maybe there's abuse, maybe you've been shuffled from one home to another, maybe you were in foster care, maybe you were adopted, whatever it is that your childhood consisted of. Sometimes when our childhood is not built on safety and security, we tend to manifest that as an adult into control. I myself have did it. I myself have been in a situation where I felt like everything had to be perfect and manifested into perfectionism at times. Well, if I can control this, then everything's going to be okay. But it doesn't work that way, right? Control is just a defense mechanism for some sort of inner child wounding that we've had to learn how to survive when we were younger. So the fact that you have the control here, I feel like a lot of you are diving within. You're finding that inner strength, and you're realizing, Aquarius, that you are stronger than you think you are. That maybe you've sabotaged in the past because you didn't know any better. Perhaps you let the weaknesses get the best of you. Perhaps you let that shadow side creep in. But a lot of you have done the work. And because you've done the work here, because you've tamed some of those shadows, and by tamed, I mean you've shed light on them. You've dove in. You've done the therapy work. You've done the shadow work. You've taken a look to the root of the situation, why something happened the way it did. Instead of playing the victim, or instead of saying life happened to me because I deserve this, you're saying, no, life happened for me. So again, if you're going to blame someone, blame them for the good that you are as well. So I like this strength showing up because you are stronger than you think, and you are full of compassion, kindness, and love, even if you can't feel it at all times. You absolutely are. All right, so some of you are working on releasing situations that feel like they're out of your control. So codependent situations, any form of maybe even manipulation or misuse of power, right? That's a challenge for you. So I like the strength showing up. Major arcana in the headspace. You know what to do. You've done the work. You've researched it till you're blue in the face. Some of you, it's your profession. Maybe you went into counseling. You went into therapy, AODA, substance abuse, volunteer work. Maybe you want to open a retreat center. Perhaps you want to work with battered women and abused children, right? Maybe you're speaking at schools for drunk driving. Whatever this is here, it's built on your foundation, and you're able to help others along the way. But sometimes we can attract relationships that need fixing, right? That they feel wounded. Because you yourself may be that healer, Aquarius, or you may attract situations that mirror what you've seen growing up. But I feel like you're breaking free from that, and you're planting new seeds. Let's take a look at what's showing up in the near future, because we have the seeds here. We have good motivation. What's showing up in the near future for Aquarius, please? Okay, thank you, Spirit. I'm getting the name here. This is interesting. Did this come up last time? I'm getting the name, very common. Bobby. Bobby. So maybe your name's Bobby Joe, or maybe your nickname is Bobby. This could be an uncle. Maybe it's your dad's name, Bob. Please take that as it resonates. Bobby. It just came in real quick. Seven of Wands. This has also shown up for a lot of signs. So June can be the month that we set healthy boundaries for ourselves. This isn't selfish, but it's a time to let our armor down, let our guard down. Now, some of you are saying, Melissa, that's counterintuitive for what you just said. How can we set healthy boundaries and let our armor down? Well, beautiful souls, it's called vulnerability. Vulnerability is our greatest strength, right? Being able to be vulnerable. Being able to let someone see you on a deeper level. Being able to choose a path where you don't have to walk on eggshells, where you don't have to feel defensive or take things personally at every step of the way, or get offended or feel on guard or feel like people are looking for a fight. You know what battles to choose, right? When it comes to relationships, if you are partnered up or if you have someone in your world that you struggle to butt heads with this person, you know when to choose your battles and when to walk away because you may know their personality. But sometimes this person just wants to come in for the drama. Maybe that's what they've attracted because they still haven't healed or worked on their inner childhood wounding as well. So the Seven of Wands is about you standing up for your beliefs, standing up for yourself, standing in your power. By doing so, sometimes you need to surrender. And by surrendering, it doesn't mean that the other person's right. It just means that you don't have time to lower your vibrational frequencies to argue or put yourself in this position of, defenselessness. Say that 5 times quick. Defenselessness. No, well, I'm butchering that. Let's take a look at how you're feeling, Aquarius. How are you doing? This is all about you. You guys, try to say that real quick. Defenselessness. Say that real quick. Let me know in the comment box if you are able to. I'd love to hear it. All right. What's going on with your energy? This is all about you, Aquarius. Defenselessness and defensiveness. So 2 different words here. I'm trying to combine them into one. So hopefully you had a better time saying that than I did. You have the Devil card showing up here. Yeah, the Devil card is all about releasing codependency, which we just talked about. Releasing fears, releasing obsessions, releasing being manipulated by external circumstances that aren't even yours, right? It's about manipulating that power to the good, right? Sometimes manipulation gets a bad rap, but when we can manipulate our energy for the good, when we can manifest what we want into our world, that's the right use of power. That's the challenge, right? The Devil energy showing up here is about you reclaiming your power and not letting someone else pull the strings or dictate your path. This is about you being the master of your reality. And in order to do that, you can't lock up your heart. Even though we want to do that sometimes, it's a defense mechanism. You want to put your heart on lockdown. There was another sign. Who was it here? Aquarius. It may have been Libra, maybe Scorpio, Sag. I'm not quite sure. Some of you may be dealing with Libra, Capricorn, Sagittarius as well. I mean, this Devil energy, Capricorn, I do feel for a lot of you, you don't want to put your heart on lockdown. You don't want to feel left out, right? You don't want to have to detach yourself or feel that no one wants to commit. You don't want to feel unlovable. You're not. You're absolutely not. This is all about you reclaiming that power and freeing yourself from situations that have been, controlling you. That's what's in your headspace. Some of you, it's the mental conflict, the mental mind. I've noticed for the past couple of months that a lot of air signs have been going through some triggers, some things that maybe have happened in childhood. Okay, that's been a common theme amongst the air signs, but I also sense that these things are coming up because you are evolving, your energy is ascending, and you're doing things differently, Aquarius. So this is a really powerful time for growth, for expansion, right? You can either stay where you're at, but I feel like you're not going to resist. You don't want to resist because even though staying in the comfort zone can feel quote unquote comfortable, we don't grow in that comfort zone. It's time to reach out, expand, be vulnerable, open your heart to love. Okay. Acceptance. It's accepting the things that you cannot change and the things you cannot, right? That's the serenity prayer. And so I feel like you're accepting someone for who they are. It doesn't mean that you have to come together. For example, let's say you and your mother butt heads. And you just don't get along, Aquarius, or, you're loving this person from a distance, but you feel like it's your duty to give your mom a call once a week or so. I feel that you may still be putting that energy out there. You may still be giving a text or giving a call, but you are setting healthy boundaries for yourself. You're not letting someone bully you, imprison you, or make you feel guilty for not calling or not being with them when all you're doing is choosing you first and foremost. So many people get caught up on the selfishness word, right? They get caught up and say, well, I owe it to that person. They gave birth to me, right? Or I owe it to that person. They helped me out during a tough time. I owe it to that person because of whatever reason, A, B, C, or D. Yeah, right? You pick it. I thought there was one that flipped there. Oh, there's some that flipped. But what's happening here is you give away your power by saying that you owe it to them. What you owe is for you to stand in your power, stand in your truth, to live your soul's journey. And that soul journey may be connected or attached to another being, but you should not diminish your own light and put yourself on hold or bench your soul in lieu of someone else. Okay, some of you really need to hear that. Now, what's showing up in your environment? You have third eye chakra and dreams coming true. 6 and 9. Some of you may be seeing the 3s, the 6, and the 9s as well. I think there's some importance within that vibrational frequency as well. Deep expansion, deep growth. Some of you may be hitting triples. You could be triplets. There could be 3 of you, 3 siblings, or there could be a party of 3, right? Maybe 3 children. Please take it as it resonates. This is all about manifesting your dreams, and you have the ability to do it, right? It's right here. Look at that. The energy looks the same. It's at his fingertips. Now he's holding it in his hands. So when the 9 of Cups shows up combined with the third eye chakra, this is about you being able to work with your third eye, you being able to see your dreams manifest, raise your frequencies, raise your vibrations, connect to the spiritual realm. Imagine yourself as if it's already happened. Imagine yourself in the type of relationships that you would like to be. Imagine that by showing that to yourself, right? Showing yourself and treating yourself. It goes back to the old golden rule of hopefully what mama taught you. Treat other people as though how you want to be treated, right? What you put out there, you're seeing back in return. And hopefully it's some good karma with the Justice card showing up here. Now, 9 of Cups showing up in your environment, it's all about wish fulfillment, happiness. It's emotional fulfillment as well as abundance. Okay, there was a lack of belief that this was going to happen because you've been under the control of your own diminishing thoughts based on maybe some wounding of the past with the Emperor. Okay, maybe you weren't sure how to take that next step, that next lead. Well, you don't have to, because your soul knows the way. We don't have to strategically rationalize and logically have every step of the way planned out. Okay, that's not how it works. It's just that sense of perfectionism, that sense of planning, the need to control. That's what keeps us into that energy of, the control, the power piece. But I feel like you're manifesting because you're planting seeds to a brand new beginning, brand new life, brand new relationships. And it doesn't mean that you're getting rid of all the old people. Sometimes I hear Melissa say, well, I don't want to get rid of that person. No, I'm not telling you to just flush them down the toilet. I'm telling you that the energy between you must evolve. Right? It's not something that you want to stay in any longer. If it is incompatible, or if it is a struggle, if there's a resistance, if there's a lack of growth, or you are constantly lowering your vibration because someone isn't matching you, then you have some major decisions to make, of course. But you can evolve and grow with this person. You can accept them for who they are on their level of growth. And it's important to understand, Aquarius, that not everyone grows and evolves at the same time as we do, right? That's their soul's experience, and then we have ours. So some of you really need to hear that. All right, let's take a look at your hopes and fears. What are your hopes and what are your fears? What do we have for Aquarius, please? Second chance, judgment, beautiful. I love the judgment card. Even though this can be scary as hell, the judgment card is about your purpose, your calling, changing your life for the better, because you've gone through a spiritual awakening. You've gone through a rite of passage, a rebirth type of energy here, where you've had to work on healing wounds. You had to work on your calling. You've had to embrace change, come to this energy of no longer judging yourself, judging others, because sometimes we can actually form an addiction, which you have with the devil here. Some of us can form addictions when it comes to judging others, judging ourselves. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not intelligent enough, right? I'm never going to amount to anything. I'm not going to have that relationship I want. That person is too ugly. They're not good enough, or they're insecure. They're this, they're that. We point fingers. We point fingers at ourselves and at others. And that can be, again, another defense mechanism, because we keep the heart on lockdown. We tend to live in the shadow side of the strength instead of controlling those emotions of what we can control, right? You have this opportunity to release yourself. This is the hopes and fears, so it's not something that's necessarily manifesting in your world, but I feel like this is a beautiful new opportunity for you to blossom, because the Judgment can be a beautiful card about changing your life for the better. You've been gifted a second chance. What are you going to do with this second chance? If you're going to keep doing what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always got. And that's showing up for the last 3 readings that I've done here. I feel Libra, Scorpio, Sag, Capricorn, all of those readings, the same message applies to all of you, to all of us. It's a very valuable soul lesson that Spirit's been bringing through. The time of change is upon us. The time of growth is upon us. The time of ascension is upon us, right? We can't continue doing what we've always done. It's time to change. It's time to shift that vibration, that frequency. What does that look like for you? How will you do that? Okay. All right, let's take a look at your final outcome. Whoa. All right, final outcome, Aquarius, June 2023. What do we have? Yes, the Fool. Beautiful. Look at all these major arcanas. You have the Magician. You have the Judgment here. You have the Strength. You have the Emperor. You have the Justice. You have the Devil. And now you have the Fool. I mean, this is powerful. It's a power month for a lot of signs, especially you air signs. And Aquarius, this is about you taking that leap of faith and having that new beginning that we literally just talked about in your hopes and fear position. When the Fool shows up, this is about new beginnings. And look at, you're so closely in parallel, because the challenge is manifesting, right? And this shows up together, right? The Fool and the Magician are right next to each other here, because it's part of having what you want on this journey, but there's still a little bit of a fear that you can't have this life that you want, when everything may be pointing a finger. Your mind, right? The beliefs, the conditioning, the experiences may be telling you, no, you can't do that. You got to stay stuck here. That is an illusion that it's time to cut through, Aquarius. It's time for you to take that leap of faith, because there's a new world, a new life waiting for you that you deserve and that you are so, so very worthy of. All right, last but not least, let's get a message from the wisdom of the Oracle, and I will read to you the relationship message from the guidebook. What do we have here for Aquarius, June 2023, please? All right, Aquarius, we have Observer, card 49. Now, some of you may be 49 years old. Maybe you were born on the 4th or the 9th. And this Observer is all about perspective. It's about objectivity, neutral observation from a distance. Okay, I'm actually going to read to you the Oracle message, because Spirit is saying Oracle message, which this hasn't shown up for any other sign, but well, we're going to go with what Spirit says. Most people see the world through a personal lens. They closely identify with their feelings and experiences, so much so that they come to believe that these are the only reality. There are times when you need to distance yourself in order to gain perspective and understand your circumstances from a more neutral vantage point. Now is one of those times in your life. This is a perfect moment for you to begin to do some exploring. Instead of only considering yourself, consider what you need to understand about the conditions, people, culture, and environment you are engaged with now. You'll be so happy you did. Illumination is the miracle you seek and will indeed find. Really beautiful. Sometimes you just can't see the forest for the trees in your way. Feelings get all jumbled up. You often hear one thing when a person says another. It can be like an echo of an unresolved past experience dubbed over your conversation. Take time out before you react. It's likely the other person has no idea how his or her words have affected you. Take a few steps back, Aquarius, and lend understanding to the situation. Have faith in your connection and trust that you can come together if that's what you seek. Take to higher ground now and cultivate curiosity about what you observe in yourself, in others, and in the world. You will find things much improved sooner than you know. This is really beautiful. I like this because this is about being able to see things from neutrality. When we just talked about duality, we talked about the judgment. We tend to judge. It's hard to overcome that at times. You see that all the time. Social media, people can hide behind the screens and they can point fingers and they can throw rocks, right? And that's not, it's not fair, but that's because some people have some more healing to do. And what we should do in those situations, of course, is show unconditional love for ourselves even more so, right? Work on ourselves, because when we heal, the world heals. So Aquarius observer, I hope this resonates with you. If so, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button. It certainly helps the divine channeled messages get to those that need it most. Feel free to subscribe and hit that bell button if you are vibing with the energy of this channel. I'd love to have you. Thank you so much for tuning in, Aquarius. Lots of love.